Hello, I'm Mary B. Today, let's talk about orchestral etiquette. So, starting a new job or being a new freelance with a professional orchestra needn't be daunting. There's quite a lot you can do to prepare yourself and to be able to fit in with the culture of the orchestra, because all orchestras have slightly different cultures, really. So the first thing is that when you walk in, if it's a rehearsal hall, there will be chairs in front of the orchestral space where you can put your case, open it and warm up a little bit. And it's a very good idea to warm up first. And then there's usually a list. So go and search for a list and see where you're sitting and just go and sit there. And have a look through the music if you've got time. So if you're sitting with someone you don't know, you can introduce yourself, say, hello, I'm Mary. And they might say, are you new? You say, yes, it's my first day. That's fine, that's a good idea. Players are very used to new players coming in who maybe don't know all the ropes. For example, if the conductor says, right, let's start at bar 53, normally one of the players will point to the bar 53 for both of them so that it helps them both to know. So you point. That's quite common in orchestras, to help your desk partner to pinpoint exactly where we're starting from. Another thing is that when the tuning starts, a lot of conductors in a rehearsal may want to tune the woodwind and the brass separately. So don't play your violin loudly or at all when the tuning is happening for the brass and the woodwind. And then he might indicate after they've all tuned up for the strings to do it separately. So watch out for that and don't just keep playing all the time and not be aware of what's going on. So you might be struggling with your sight reading or whatever, but take it in chunks and just try to play the overall shapes. And if you miss a few notes, that's okay. You can catch up with that later, but try to keep up with the overall shapes is my best advice for being thrown into the deep end with sight reading. One thing you can do is, if you are aware of the schedule, you can phone up the orchestral manager beforehand and say, could I pick up some parts? And they will give you the parts and you can be prepared and learn the parts. Or you can do it all online and get your own repertoire books. It's quite easy now because of the internet to be a little bit more prepared if you really want to. I mean, if you're playing something extremely difficult like Strauss, Don Juan or something like that, you do want to have a look at those parts first. Tchaikovsky, absolutely full of notes and key changes, almost impossible to sight read. It's really good to be familiar with those and know them beforehand, at least the sort of style and what to expect, because it can be a massive shock coming in and doing this high level sight reading that everyone else seems to be able to do and you're just left floundering. Okay, it happens to everyone, believe me. You soon learn to do it. So let's say that you've got through the first few rehearsals and everything's been great. So you come to the concert and usually you have to think about what you're going to wear. So you can ask players, you can actually ask that when you've been phoned up for the gig. So there are various categories. There's sort of casual black, there's long black, and there's sort of kind of ball gowns, long dresses. So you really have to get that together before you take on the gig. Get your concert clothes organised. And for heaven's sake, make sure that you don't wear anything too tight. You'll start sweating under the lights on the stage. And also, don't wear anything too tight to play in. I mean, it seems obvious, but just don't wear anything ordinarily black. Test out, if you're buying something in a shop, test it out with your bowing arm. Sure that you can move in it. You've got to carry all that on the day. If you've got orchestral parts, your violin, your clothes, shoes, everything, you've got to take it with you. One good idea a lot of people do is turn up early and put all their stuff into the concert hall so that they can hang up their clothes, they can leave their violin there and then go out for something to eat. So just follow what everyone else is doing, but make sure you've got really basic things like remember your shoes, try and remember a thermal vest if it's a cold hall. Honestly, yes. Always bring your own pencil, bring a rubber and your own rosin. It's amazing the number of people who become very quickly very annoying because they don't have these items. A pencil is absolutely essential. Something that happens is that the conductor will give notes and things will get passed through the desks to the back with the messages. And those messages might be bar 53 sostenuto. So you say bar 53 sost. Or you use, rallentando, ral, or whatever. You start getting to know the sort of shorthand that we use, and we all write in the part sost or ral or whatever it is, pizz for pizzicato. So you very quickly learn all that, and you've got to keep your ears wide open. And one good bit of advice for players is that some players at the back do a lot of talking and chatting and not paying attention. And don't be one of those people, because if you are interested in the actual rehearsal, even if you're not playing and it's someone else being rehearsed, always take part in the music, always be interested and be listening, and don't get caught up in the constant chatter that may go on, because you won't be able to progress in music if you don't take part in the music that you're lucky enough to be part of. So there's lots of distractions, and there's nervousness, and there's difficult parts to play and everything, but it's a very, very exciting journey that you can go on. I hope you really enjoy it and realise what an absolutely incredible thing it is to be making music in a symphony or a concerto or whatever with all these other musicians, with the conductor pulling it all together. There's all kinds of experiences to be had in music, and I think one thing is make sure you look after your violin, make sure you look after yourself, come early to the gigs and the concerts, because you turn up, it's raining, you turn up like a drowned rat. Well, you don't want to go on like that. You've got to give yourself time to get yourself ready, get yourself physically ready, get yourself looking good, brush your hair, do all that stuff, and get yourself emotionally and physically and mentally ready to go on there and perform. So no matter where you're sitting in an orchestra, try and take part in the performance. If you want to progress your orchestral career, always make sure that you're part of the performance. Some conductors are very demanding and rude, and others are very, very encouraging. There's all sorts. You've got to just take what you're given and make the music out of it. It's absolutely wonderful. There was one time in the opera orchestra where we had to play the Thieving Magpie, the overture of which is extremely difficult, with a difficult start, out of nowhere. And the miracle was that the conductor just went like this, and we all started it together. I thought that was fantastic. How does he do that? How do we do that? So these things, you just get better and better. You get more and more experience, and you're able to do more and more and experience more and more, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I hope you enjoy yourself as well as everything else, and good luck on your orchestral journey. So I'll say bye-bye for now. Bye.